Thank you for tuning into another Ghost Build video. Tonight, hopefully we start the CSX. So for the last 2 weeks, me and my brother have been working pretty much every night or so on little things here, little things there. We've got everything mounted. When I get to my brother's house, I'm leaving my house now. Of course, I'll show you kind of what we've did and what we've done with the 8-valve electronics to make it work with a 2-4 swap. The last video we showed, of course, I had the cams and everything, but nothing was actually put in the car. Tonight, if we get time, we will swap the cams in. Hopefully we can get it to run. We haven't really started the car yet. We haven't heat cycled the car. We did put water in it the other night, and it doesn't leak any water, so that's a good start. But in the last video when I was talking about the CSX's computer, I was actually pointing at the power module, which is under the hood, which controls the power to everything in the car. The actual ECU is under the dash, just like a Honda. I was misinformed on it a long time ago, so my bad in the last video. But hopefully tonight we get it started. Hope you guys enjoy. Shout out to Kyle from the Boosted Boys for the shirt. Let's get to my brother's house. Alright, so more parts that we didn't show in the last video. We bought a set of cams and we bought an ATI dampener. So the dampener, of course, any high horsepower car, you need to run a proper dampener, not one of those stock ones that fly apart and you have all those problems with it. If you don't know, this is the best one on the market. And then the cams we went with, you can see right here, Crowder stage 2 turbo cams for a 420A. Nothing crazy, nothing big. So we'll be putting those in tonight once we get the car started. Of course, we got to put the dampener on before we start the car. And alright guys, so if you didn't watch the last video on this car, as you can tell, a lot has changed. Go back and watch that video. It basically has a breakdown of what we were doing to the car previously. So since that video, we've got a custom tubular manifold. We got a 44mm tile wastegate. We have our Borg Warner S363. We are still running the 8-valve electronics, as you see, 8-valve distributor, 8-valve coil. These are 40 over 8-valve injectors. We had a custom fuel rail made because the attempt we had to do with the OEM one failed horribly and it leaked everywhere. Custom intake manifold. We have A and fuel lines over here going to a regulator. This is a Volkswagen Golf or Sirocco early 90s radiator. We still have our same eBay 550 wheel horsepower rated front mount. We ran intercooler piping with a bunch of old piping we had laying around. Basically the breakdown on the motor is Manley rods, 8.6 to 1 compression pistons, the Crowder cams I showed earlier, which we'll be putting in, and then basically everything else is 8-valve stuff besides the 420A head on the 2-4 swap block. And in the last video I showed you the adapter bracket, which is a Stratus 2.4 neon swap CSX bracket. We still haven't made a front motor mount. That'll be coming soon. We still haven't put a downpipe on it, which is why it's so loud. But using old school turbo Dodge throttle body, Dizzy power module, factory computer that's socketed, and let's get to the process of putting the cams in. Alright guys, so we're going to try to start this thing for the first time. Hopefully it runs. We know it's going to be loud. Alright, so we got the dampener on. Got an alternator belt on it. It's a little bit too long, but we'll get a shorter one later. We got the motor set to top dead center. We got the valve cover off. Loosened all the cam caps. We're going to put a jack under the motor. We have to pull this whole bracket off to retime the motor. Not going to video this. It's pretty self-explanatory. You retime it just like you would do a 420A. And then we put it back together, put some cams in it, and it's going to be loud and lopey, we hope. Alright, so this is the bracket, got it off. There's the adapter, there's the motor mount. We got all the timing apart, pulled it apart, got the cams out. So now we're gonna have to pull this custom piece off the end that runs the distributor, swap the cam gears over, swap the cam seals over, and slide the new cams in. For those of you wondering what the adapter bracket actually looks like, here's your factory distributor. Here's your bracket that actually bolts to the head, and then here's the piece that bolts inside to the cam, which is replacing the factory magnet. And then, as you can see, it's grooved to match, and literally just bolts right into the back of the cam right here. And all we're going to do is swap this piece over, and then put the whole head back together, and it should be a stage 2 cammed motor. So cams are back in, valve cover's back on, everything's back together. Test fire 1, hopefully it runs. Well guys, that's gonna be it for the video. It runs, it's cammed, it's a Frankenstein. You know, all these people build Hondas that are super Frankenstein. You switch everything. We have a minivan 2.4 block, we have an Eclipse 428 head, and then a bunch of custom parts. And sooner or later we're gonna put it on a dyno and see how much power it makes. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Until the next one.
Every single day.